Okay. So we have seen how to work with this, right? Synchronization. Okay. Yes. So the next we'll talk about. So working with. So the another module. So which is called as some Python database. Python database what? Communication. Some more are there in between. That also I'll tell you. Okay. So this Python database communication is called as what here? PDBC. So can call this as what? Python database communication. So that is how Python program communicate with the database. Okay. Yes. How Python program communicate with the databases, right? So generally, so data can be stored. Data can be stored permanently in two systems. What is this? So data can be stored permanently in two systems. Okay. Using two systems. Okay. One is called file system and one more is called database system. So because every application required to store the data permanently. Every application required to store the data how permanently, and you are storing the data permanently. So you can store the data permanently by using file system, or you can store the data permanently using what? Database system. Okay, generally, so file system, so there are some limitations. What are the limitations? Already we have seen how to store the data inside a file. Already we have seen how to store the data inside a file. But there are some limitations of file system. So what are the limitations of file system is? Okay, first one is, so files are not secured. Files are not secured because who manages the files? Operating system. And the operating system doesn't provide any security. So files are not secured because files are managed by whom? Operating system. And operating system doesn't provide security for what? Files. Okay. And the second one is, now files cannot hold what is that? Large amount of which one? Data. Within a file, you cannot store large amount of data. Okay. So files cannot hold large amount of data. And file system doesn't provide File system doesn't provide any query language. It doesn't provide any query language. For example, if I want to insert, if I want to add the data, I need to write my own program. If I want to update the data, I need to write my own program. If I want to delete the data, I have to write my own program. But when you are working with a database will provide one query language. What is that query language? Like SQL. SQL language it will provide. Using SQL, what you can do, you can insert, update, delete, and retrieve. So you don't require to write some programs for inserting, updating, and what? Deleting. So it provides some predefined query language or predefined. File doesn't provide any query language or predefined. What is that? Commands. Okay. So file system doesn't provide any query language or predefined commands. Files cannot hold large amount of data, and files are application dependent. Okay, files are application dependent or program dependent. So all these are limitations. All these are limitations of which system here? File system. Because of that, you are using which system here? Database system, or you are using database system or database application or a database what? Software. Okay. So database software, what is the advantage of this is? Okay. So what is the advantage of database? Okay. One is, so database can hold a large amount of, huge amount of data. Database can hold a large amount of data here. Okay. And data stored inside a database. Data stored inside database is what here? Secured. Okay, this security is provided by okay, database application. The security is provided by database application. So data stored inside database is secured, and the security is provided by database application, and database can hold a large amount of data, and data stored inside database is what here? Secured, and the security is provided by database application. And database application provides what is that? SQL, which is called as structured query language. Okay, this provide structured query language. So it will provide some set of commands. It will provide set of commands to perform operations on which one? Database. And database is application independent. So once you store the data into a database, the data can used by Java, the data can used by Python, the data can used by C or C++, any language. It means database is program what? Independent, or application independent. Program independent or application independent. So this is the advantage of using which one? Database applications. So database is a program independent or application independent. Database is program independent or application independent. So that is the advantage. Database can hold a large amount of data. Data stored inside database is secured, and this security is provided by database application. And database application provide SQL, which is called as a structured query language. It is a set of commands. It will provide what is that set of commands to perform operations on what? Database. And database is program independent or application independent. So all these are advantages of using which one? Database system or database software. Okay. So now there are various database softwares available in the market, right? There are various database softwares available in the market. Now, these are called database softwares. These are the database softwares or database, what is that here? Applications. So various database softwares or applications available. So one is called as Oracle. So Oracle is one software and MySQL is one software. SQL Server is one software. Postgres SQL is one software. DB2 is one software. Okay. So DB2, all these are called as which one here? Database softwares. All these are database applications. You can call it as database applications or database softwares. But all these databases, when I'm talking about this, so there are various database softwares out there. All these database softwares. So there is multiple database softwares out there. So for example, Oracle software, Oracle database software application. So MySQL database software, MySQL database software or application. And this is SQL Server database software, or what is that application? So there is Oracle database, MySQL database, and one more is what? SQL Server. Oracle, it is also a product of Oracle Corporation. It is also product of Oracle Corporation. SQL Server database software is a product of which one? Microsoft. SQL Server is a product of Microsoft. MySQL database software is a product of Oracle Corporation. And Oracle database software is a product of Oracle Corporation. Okay, right? So then, so all these databases, whenever you are talking about database, what kind of operations you do on the database is, you try to perform these operations on the database. What operations you do on the database is, so these are the operations performed. These are the operations performed on which one? Database. So what operations performed on the database? So there is operations like, okay, inserting, okay, updating, inserting data, updating data, and what is that? Deleting data, and reading what here? Data. So these operations generally you call it as which one? CRUD operations. Or the same thing you call it as which one? CRUD operation. C means create. So create, okay, retrieve or read. So any project you develop, you are doing how many operations on the database? 4 operations. That is creating, inserting, updating, deleting, and what is that? Retrieving. Okay, that you call it as CRUD operations. So these are the operations what you do on the database. Any database you work with, okay, you do how many operations on this? 4 operations. Like inserting means storing the data, retrieving the data, updating the data, and what? Deleting the data. Suppose, assume that if you take any banking application, if you take, sign up is nothing but storing the user details. Sign in is nothing but retrieving the details, and deposit is nothing but updating the details. Withdraw is nothing but updating the details. Printing the mini statement is nothing but retrieving the details. From where all these details you are reading or doing, all this data will be there inside what? Database. And any database understand only one language. Database understand only one language. What is that? SQL. How you are doing this crude operations on the database, and you are doing all these crude operations on the database by using one language. And what is that language? SQL stands for structured query language. Okay, structured query language, right? You are trying to do all these operations on the database. You're doing all these operations on the database using one language. And what is that language you are using? SQL. SQL stands for structured query language. Okay. So Oracle understand SQL. MySQL also understand what? SQL. SQL Server understand what? SQL. Postgres SQL understand what? SQL. Any database software understand which language? SQL language. And SQL is a standard. It is a standard used by all database applications to perform operations like inserting, updating, deleting, okay, retrieving, all these operations. You do it by using which one? SQL. So all these operations you do it by using which one here? SQL. SQL stands for structured query language. SQL stands for structured query language. Now we'll just see first SQL. I'll tell you SQL. I'll just give you the brief idea about what is SQL is. Okay. Brief idea about what is SQL is. SQL. So SQL stands for structured query language. So it is what here? Database. It is a database language. Or SQL is a standard. SQL is a standard defined by which one? ANSI. SQL is one standard defined by which one? ANSI. ANSI stands for American National Standard Institute. Okay. ANSI. It is defined by ANSI. No, it is a standard. It is a standard language. It is a standard language used by, it is a standard language, okay, used by all database applications. All database applications, or what is that? Softwares. SQL is a standard language used by, it is a standard language used by all database applications, or what? Softwares. It is a standard language used by all database applications or softwares. Now SQL provide various commands, right? SQL provides various commands. Okay. So SQL provides various what is that? Commands. Okay. So based on the operations, based on the operations performed by commands, based on the operations performed by commands, SQL is divided into some sub languages. So one is called as DML, DDL. You'll say DDL, DML, DRL, DCL, and one more is TCL. DDL. This is not Python. What I am telling is not Python. It is database. Actually, all this you should know it. This is not Python. This what I'm saying is this is not Python. Already should know what is SQL, what is database. Okay, my job is only how Python communicate with database. I should not tell what is SQL. I should know already what is SQL is. You should know what is exactly database is. Okay, but anyway, I'm just giving brief idea about what is SQL because some students they don't know what is SQL, right? What is database, what is SQL, but they want to become a software engineers, right? Okay, they want to learn only language and they want 1 lakh salary month. Okay, but they want to learn only one language, that's it, and immediately want a job after completing the course. कल कोर्स हो गया, आज ही मैं जॉब मिलना है मेरे को, नहीं तो सर को बोलेगा मेरे को जॉब नहीं है बोलता हूँ. वैसे नहीं रहता है. You have to learn multiple technologies. Specializations you have to do it. If you don't do specializations, getting job is difficult. Okay, now fresher level, okay. Fresher level, MNCs, right? Infosys, Wipro, these companies you should know one language. But mid-level company, startup companies, they look for specializations. You know, you are specialized in what? Python. Which Python specialized you are? You are specialized in what? Web scraping. You are specialized in web development. You specialized in web data science. You specialized in testing. You are specialized in what? क्यों ले लो मैं? क्यों ले लो? आपको खाली पाइथन ही मालूम है और एक जने उनको पाइथन मालूम है, एक डिजाइंगा मालूम है. किसको लेना मैं? उसको लेता मैं. आपको क्यों लेता हूँ यार? I don't want to give training, right? Yes or no? So as I say, you have to learn multiple technologies. Then only you'll get the job. खाली पाइथन सीख के मैं जॉब नहीं आ रहा बोले तो आपको घर को आके देता क्या उन्होंने जॉब? हाँ, yes sir, he'll come to your place and give the job. And even you don't apply also. Apply भी नहीं करता हूँ ना, मैं जॉब नहीं मिलता बोलता हूँ. He'll not apply. He'll apply like just like that. He'll apply. Resume prepare भी अच्छे तरह से नहीं करता हूँ. खाली लिखता हूँ ना resume languages Python, बस उतना है. और शॉर्ट लिस्ट भी नहीं होता हो. शॉर्ट लिस्ट भी नहीं होता. लैंग्वेजेस, प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस. ओके, कैसे लिखता हूँ ना रेज्यूम में? ऐसे लिखता हूँ ना. ओके, प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस. ओके, प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस. व्हाट आई नो इज पाइथन. जॉब देता नहीं देता बोल के ऐसे लिखता हूँ ना. क्यों देता हूँ ना? शॉर्ट लिस्ट भी नहीं होता. क्यों नहीं होता? कौन शॉर्ट लिस्ट कर रहा? Who's shortlisting your resume? Not by a person, is a tool. The tool will search for some keywords. और keywords नहीं है आपके resume में, हट जाता हो ना. और keywords नहीं है आपके resume में, तो then your resume is not shortlisted. Calls भी नहीं आते आप. Should know how to prepare a resume also. बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स ऐसे सीख लेते, खत्म हो गए. मेरे शादी में कर रहे बोल के ऐसे सीखते कि मेरे शादी में सीख लिया बोल के. ऐसे नहीं करना यार. ओके, सो यू हैव टू लर्न. तो लोगों को नहीं मालूम ओरेकल क्या है, एसक्यूएल क्या है बोल के भी नहीं मालूम रहता. क्या सीख रहे बोले तो एसक्यूएल सीख रहा हूँ बोलता. फिर ओरेकल नहीं सीख रहे बोले तो ओरेकल क्या है बोलता. सही है ना? So because of that, this difference you should know it. These are what databases. Any database, understand which one, what language. What is that language? SQL. आप Oracle में SQL सीखे. When you join Oracle, you learn which one? SQL. Is it SQL is the same for all these databases? Yes. अभी एक database सीख ले तो पूरा अपने आप आ जाता. You don't require to learn SQL server separate. खाली नाम डिफरेंस है, बस उतना है. इसके अंदर जो भी SQL कमांड्स है ना, ये पूरा सेम ही रहता. ओरेकल में आप एसक्यूएल सीखते, जो एसक्यूएल कमांड्स आप ओरेकल में सीख के वही एसक्यूएल कमांड्स माइस्क्यूएल में रहता, you find in SQL server also. इसलिए you should know at least one database. One database you should know it. If you know one database, you learn in that database you learn which one? SQL. If you learn one database, in that database you learn SQL. Okay. So ये पूरा ready होना, job के लिए ready रहना, fully loaded, खाली है, गन्स पूरा खाली है, फायर नहीं होता, कुछ नहीं होता, फुल्ली लोडेड पूरा रहना आपका, एक डेटाबेस रहना, एक फ्रंट एंड रहना, एक बैक एंड रहना, ये पूरा रहे तो आप फुल स्टैक डेवलपर बोलते, ना तो खाली डेवलपर बोलते, खाली डेवलपर को कुछ वैल्यू नहीं है, पूरा सीखना, all Python technologies you have to learn. If you learn all Python technologies, then only you get a job. बाद में नहीं बोलना कि सर पाइथन जॉब्स मिलता बोला, मार नहीं मिला बोल, नहीं बोलना मेरे, किसका प्रॉब्लम है वो, आपका भी प्रॉब्लम है. Some students they learn for 1 year सीखते रहते, वो लोग सीखते रहते, क्यों? They want to get a job. They learn all the technologies and they apply it, get some good knowledge. They get some good knowledge, they'll do some case studies, projects. Okay, they'll get some good knowledge, grip आ जाता उनको सब्जेक्ट पे, जब अप्लाई करते हो, जब अप्लाई करते हैं, definitely they'll get it. They'll resume look very good. So many things will be there in the resume. So many technologies will be there. All technologies required for developing one project पूरा उनके resume में रहता, उनका शॉर्टलिस्ट होता, खाली पाइथन बोले तो नहीं होता. ओके, सो सीखो यार, एक डेटाबेस भी सीखना पड़ेगा आपको, इसलिए पहले दिन मैं बोलता हूँ, if you want to get a job in Python, you do some specializations. फर्स्ट क्लास में बोलता हूँ मैं, बोला सब वो खाली जावा करे तो नहीं होता, वो भी सही है, खाली जावा करे तो जॉब मिलता नहीं मिलता, कोर जावा, एडवांस जावा, स्प्रिंग, हाइबरनेट, यूआई टेक्नोलॉजीज, ओरेकल, ये पूरा क्या है, फुल स्टैक जावा है, 2 साल लगता, एक के बाद एक सीखे तो. .NET फुल स्टैक .NET बोले तो C# .NET, ASP .NET, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, ये पूरा वेब ही है. .NEट इज यूज्ड इन वेब, जावा इज यूज्ड इन वेब, पाइथन बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस है आपको. यू आर लर्निंग वन गुड लैंग्वेज, राइट? सो विच इज हैविंग नंबर ऑफ ऑप्शंस आर देयर, बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस है, यू हैव लॉट ऑफ ऑप्शंस इन पाइथन. जावा में उतना ऑप्शंस नहीं है, आप you don't have those many options, you have to go as a web developer only. .NET also you have to go as a web developer only, but Python plenty of options are there, technical, non-technical, दो भी है, you have both technical as well as non-technical, you can choose anyone. But anyway, so these are sub languages, right? So SQL is providing some sub languages like, so data definition, this is called as data definition language, and this is called as data manipulation, right? So this is data manipulation language. So data, this is what here, retrieval, so data retrieval language, and this is data control language. And TCL, transaction control language. So it is like this: DDL, data definition, data manipulation, data retrieval, data control, and transaction control. Suppose if you see data definition, you have some commands like create, alter, and one more is what? Drop. Data manipulation commands are like, what is that? Insert, update, delete. So data retrieval language is select. Data control is grant, revoke. Okay. And transaction control is like commit, and one more is which one? Rollback. So this you can call it as what? Transaction control. Okay, so these many commands are there. Create, alter, drop, insert, update, delete, select, grant, revoke, commit, and one more is what? Rollback. All these are which commands here? Okay. Flashback queries. Flashback is what? Flashback queries, sir. Flashback comes in what? The flashback queries here. That is what I'm saying, no? Okay, right? So then first we'll see, yes, how to work with these commands, right? Like I'll try to tell you like how to work with, like how to create a table and modifying the table and deleting the table. Like how can you do the insertion, updation, and what? Deletion. And we'll see how to retrieve the data from database table. But doing all this, first you have to install one database. You have to install one database. What is the database you have to install? I'll tell you how to install. How to install which one? SQL किधर रहता है यार? How to install MySQL. MySQL database. How to install MySQL database software. Okay. So first I'll tell you how to work with MySQL, and then I'll tell you how to work with Oracle. Okay. So I'll try to tell you how to work with two databases. One is MySQL database and one more is a Oracle database. How to install MySQL database software and how to install Oracle database software. Oracle, yes. So how to install MySQL database software? You can download MySQL installer. So what you can do is you can download MySQL installer. From where you can download is, so this is a website from where you can download MySQL installer. So first is this one. Just open this, but it's free to download. MySQL is a free to download. So just open this. If you open this now, MySQL installer 8.0.31. Now select the operating system for which you want to install. Select the operating system for which you want to install it. Select the select the software for which you want to install it, right? For which you want to install. So actually there are two installer are there. One is Windows. So Windows 32-bit MySQL installer web community is there. And second one is Windows 32-bit MySQL installer is there. So this will download complete installer and install it. So this will take how much MB? 431. But I want directly the software should be installed from web. Then you have to choose this one. That is MySQL installer web community. So my suggestion is use MySQL installer which community? Web community, right? So this is what they are. After this, after typing that URL, so what you do is select this. Okay, select this. MySQL web community. MySQL installer web community. Select MySQL installer for web community. So what I'm doing is I just click on which one? Download. So once you click on download, in the next screen it will ask login now or sign up for free account. So I don't want that. Okay, I don't want that. What you do in the next screen is you just put here no thanks. Select which one? No thanks and start what? Download. So select this option in the next screen. Okay, select this option in the next screen. So no thanks, just start my download. So installer is downloaded. Now click on this. For installing, what you have to do, you click on this. If you click on this, open file security warning, just click on which one? Run. So after that, you want to run this program? Yes. But in my system already, MySQL is installed. So it said welcome back. It means already installed or not? Yes. So select, next. So already available. MySQL server is upgradable products is showing. Now just select MySQL server. So it is already available. Otherwise, it will show you the list of products. Otherwise, it will show you the list of products, and within that, you select which one, MySQL server. But here I select MySQL server, and I want this product to be updated because already it's available, right? Yeah, just click on next here. Okay, now it is ready to configuration. Okay. So this is updating because already my system is having what is it, MySQL software. Otherwise, it will start the new installation. So in that you have to select MySQL server. You have to install server because MySQL provides so many. MySQL installer provide so many products. Don't choose all the products. Select only which one, MySQL server. Okay. Okay, so it has been done. Okay, now next, and it has been done, right? Okay, so I try to install only one thing. Okay, see, if you want to add any other products, you can just click on this. See here, actually you'll get like this. MySQL servers, applications, MySQL connections, and documentations. In MySQL servers, you select MySQL server 8.0, and within this, okay, already we installed, right? So that's the reason it is not showing here. But in this, you try to select MySQL latest version. So what is the latest one here? 8.0 point what? 30. So this is already installed here. It is already installed. So I cannot install it again, right? Yes. Uh, so MySQL is installed in my system. MySQL is installed in my system. Then how to work with this MySQL now? It is installed in my system. Now how to work with this MySQL? To work with MySQL, database. See, I'm not telling about Python. I'm telling about MySQL database. To work with MySQL database application, okay, with MySQL software, okay, with MySQL software or MySQL software provide. MySQL database software provides. Okay, what is that? MySQL command line client. MySQL command line client program. To work with MySQL database application, MySQL database software provides MySQL command line program, MySQL command line client program, MySQL command line client program. Just search this. Search MySQL command line clients here. MySQL command line client. Open this. What it provide? MySQL command line client. Okay, right now just open this MySQL command line client. Now it will ask you to enter the password. Okay. So at the time of installing the MySQL, software, by default, it will ask you to enter the password. Okay. So default username of MySQL database is, okay. So what is that here? Root. Okay. What is the username? Root. And password, whatever password you enter at the time of installing the software. But I enter the password as what again? Root. And password is also I've given. Username is a root and password I've given as what? Root. But username is predefined, but password is user defined. So that is at the time of installing the MySQL database software, it allows you to enter the MySQL database password. So I've given the MySQL database password as what? Root only. I've given the MySQL database password as what? Root only, right? So username is a root and password is also root. So if you open MySQL command line client, it will ask you to enter what here? Password. What is my password? Root. Okay, but whatever password you have given, enter that password. But default username is what? Root. And password is whichever password you have given at the time of installation, give that password. Okay, right. So after that, press enter. After giving this, if you press enter, you'll get which one? SQL command line. You get which one? SQL command line. So you'll get SQL command lines here. Like Python command line, you have what here? SQL command line. So from this command prompt, you can execute all SQL commands. From this command prompt, you can execute all SQL commands. Whatever you want to do on MySQL database, you can do all that operations from this command. So first thing is creating which one? Database. Because where the data is stored inside database. So first step is creating what here? Database. Creating database. Okay. So data is stored. Data is stored inside which one here? Database. So the first step in working with MySQL is creating what? Database. So what is the syntax of creating a database? Okay. So create database and followed by database name. What is the syntax of creating database? Create database and it followed by what name? Database name. How can you create database? Create database and database name. Okay. So how can you create database? Create database. So create database, not Oracle, right? Yes. Create database and database name. So I just give Python database 11 a.m. What is the name of the database? Python database 11 a.m. Now database is created. So database name can be anything because database name is predefined or user defined. User defined. So first thing is creating database. Database is created. Now I want to know how many databases are there. Now you can say show what is that databases. So that will display all the databases. Okay. So DB 9 AM, MySQL, performance schema, PyDB 11 AM like that. But every command is end with semicolon. So just give the semicolon the same line. Now this is displaying all the databases available in your MySQL. So how can I display all databases available by using show databases? So that will show you list of databases available in MySQL. Okay. So once the database is created, then how can you use that database? How to open the database? For that, you are using the command called use. Okay, use is a command. So this is which command here? Use command. So this command is used to open database or activate database or to use what? Database. So use, what is the syntax here is, okay, use it followed by database name. Use it followed by what here? Database name. So which database you want to use it? Use. What is the name of my database? PyDB. PyDB, what is that? 11 AM. So use PyDB. So 11 AM. This is my database. Now database is changed to my database. Now currently I'm in which database? PyDB 11 AM. Okay. What is currently I'm in which database? PyDB 11 AM. Okay. So inside this database, where the data will be stored in the form of tables. Data will be stored in what? Tables. How data is stored in? Tables. Within database, data is stored in what is that? Tables. A table is a collection of rows and columns. Okay. So inside the database, how the data will be stored? In the form of which one here? Tables. Data is stored in the form of tables. Okay. So within database, data is stored in tables. Then how to create table? So what is the command provided by SQL? What is the command provided by SQL? Create. If you want to create a table, if you want to create a database, you are using which command? Create command. So how to create table? How to create table? Okay. So table, this is a syntax of creating table. Create. So create a table, create table, create a table followed by what here? Table name. Create a table, table name. Create a table, table name. Within this table, what you are saying? Column name. Column name followed by which one? Data type. So then column name followed by data type. So which type of column it is? So column name followed by data type. So one table can have either one column or more than one column. Okay, so create table, table name, column name, data type, column name, data type. So which table you want to create? You have to define along with the column name and data type. Suppose I want to create a table for storing employees' data, employee number, employee name, job, and one more is what? Salary. So what is this employee number, employee name, job, salary? Columns. These are called as which one? Column. Now each column might have either one value or more than one. So within the database, the data is stored in the form of rows and columns. So how you are writing this? Create table. So what is a table name is? Okay, I want to store whose details? Student details. What is the name of the table? Student. And what student is having? Roll number. So roll number is which type here? Integer. So MySQL is having data types like integer, float. Okay. So integer. If you want, you can give the size also. But I've just taken roll number is which type? Integer. And name is of which type? Varchar and some 20. The size is 20. And the next one is a course, which is varchar and what is that? 20. And next one is a fees, which is a float 10 comma 2. 10 is a total width, and within that 2 are what? Decimals. 8 are integer part and 2 is which part? Decimal part. What is the name of the table? Student. Having roll number, name, course and fees. So table is created. Table is what here? Created with how many columns here? 4 columns. Table is created with 4 columns. So varchar is nothing but string. Varchar is what here? String. So in this case, varchar is a string here. So after creating a table, if you want to see how many tables are there in your database, you can say show tables. So this will display how many tables are there in your database. How many tables are there in your database? Only one. What is the name of that table? Student. So what is the name of that table here? Student. Only one table is there in your database. If you want to see the structure of this table, how many columns are there in the table? If you want to see that, you can say describe. What is the name of the table? Student. So this will show you how many fields are there. And what is the type of this fields? Integer, varchar, and one more is a float. Nulls are allowed. Yes, like that. If you want to see the structure of, a table, you can see the structure of a table using what? Describe. You can see the structure of the table using which one? Describe. Describe is there. So that is for displaying the structure of table. Okay. Yes. Just here, first what did we created? First thing is you have to create database, and then next is open that database, and next thing is create table within the database so that we can store what? Data. Then how can I insert the data into the database? For that, SQL is provide one command called which one? Insert. So this is which command? Insert command. Insert is DML command or DDL command? DML command. Insert is which command? DML. DML means data manipulation language. DML is data manipulation language. Okay, so we are using one command. What is the command we are using? Insert command. This command is for inserting data into a database table. Okay, so this command is used. This command is used to insert values into database. Database what? Table. So what is the syntax? You should know all this command syntax because we'll be doing all this from Python. We are doing in what? MySQL, but generally you don't do because Python is a front end and your database is what in this case? Back end. Now, if you want to insert, then from Python program, you'll send which command? Insert command. If you want to update from Python program, you'll send which command? Update command. But you are practicing at the back end, then we'll do the same thing from Python. Okay. So what is the syntax? So what is the syntax of insert command? Now this is a syntax of insert command. Okay, insert into what? Table name. Insert into table name. Okay, and it followed by what here? Values. Insert into table name. Insert into table name values, and it followed by value for each column. Value of each column, right? So this is one syntax. But if you don't want to insert into all the columns, then you can use this syntax. Two syntaxes are there. One is inserting values into all the columns. And second one is inserting values into a selected columns. Now insert into, what is that here? Table name. And it followed by what names? Column names. It followed by column names. Which columns you want to insert values? Values. And you define the value for those columns. So this is insert command syntax. Now I want to insert values into which table? Student table. How can I insert? Insert into, what is the name of this student? Values, roll number. So name of the student and course of the student and fees of the student. Okay. Yes. Now one row is inserted. Okay. String should be given in single quotes. Okay. I want to insert one more. Insert into, what is that? Student. Roll number, name of the student, course of the student, and fees. So one more row is also inserted. So how many rows we inserted here? 2 rows. After inserting, how can I see the content of the table? How can I see the content of the table? How can I retrieve? How can I retrieve the data from the table? How can I retrieve the data from the table? So for that, you are using which command? Select command. What is the next command you have? Select command. Insert command, and one more is a select command. So this command is used. This command is used to read information, from where? Database table. If you want to read the information from the database table, you are using which command? Select command. If you want to read the information from database table, if you want to see the content of database table, you are using which command? Insert command, right? And then select command. Okay. So what is the syntax is, now you have a multiple syntaxes. Select star from what is that? Table name. So what this syntax will do is, the syntax read complete table data. Complete table data. It will retrieve the complete table data. Now select star from, what is the name of this? Student. So is displayed the complete table data or not? Yes. Now further, you are using this particular syntax, that is select star from table name. Select star from table name. Now this is syntax 1. So there is a syntax 2. Syntax 2 is select column names. Select column names. Select column names from what name here? Table name. Now this syntax read values from what? Selected what? Columns. Now suppose you want to read, okay, you want to retrieve the name, comma, what is that? Course. From student. Now it's take how many columns? Only 2 columns. Okay, if you want to read, select, okay, I want to read the name and fee from, what is the table name? Student. It read only 2. So if you want to retrieve, the data from selected what is it? Columns. If you want to retrieve the data from selected columns, then you are trying to use this, right? Yes. So selected columns. Now this is syntax 2. Now if you want to retrieve the selected rows, only selected rows, then use the syntax 3. Now select star from table name and where, followed by which one? Condition. Now this syntax is used to retrieve or read selected rows. If you want to read the selected rows, you are saying select star from table name where, followed by what here? Condition. Now suppose I want to retrieve select star from student where, okay, name equal to what is that? Naresh. So it will get the name equal to what? Naresh. Or I can say select star from student where roll number equal to 2. It will get the student whose roll number is what? 2. Okay. So if you want to retrieve the selected number of rows, then use which one? Where condition. Use what here? Where condition. Where condition you can use it. So this is retrieving data, right? So one is inserting data. And second one is, what is it here? Retrieving data. And you are retrieving the data by using which command here? Select command. You are retrieving the data using select. If you want to update the data, if you want to update, means replace, you are using which command? Update command. If you want to replace the data or replace the values, you are using which command? Update command. So this command is used. This command is used to replace or update. To replace or update what here? Values. If you want to replace or update the values, then you are using which command? Update command. If you want to replace or update the values, you are using which command? Update command. And what is the syntax of this update command is update. Update it followed by table name and set column name. Set column name equal to what? Value. Comma column name equal to what again? Value. So where you can give what here? Condition. So this command will replace the values of a specific column if you do it with the where condition. But if you don't give the where condition, it will replace all the values. If you don't give the where condition, then it will replace all the values. But if you give the condition, it will replace only those column values. If you do that, it will replace only those values. Suppose I want to update the fees of the student whose roll number is what? 2. So what is the student roll number? 2 roll number fees 1000. I want to update with the 2000. Update student set. Okay, set fee equal to what is that? 2000. Where roll number equal to what? 2. Now you can see one row is matched and one row is what here? Changed. Now if you want, you can see that select star from what is that? Student. Now the fees previously it was what? 1000. Now it changed to how much here? 2000. If you want to update, for example, I want to update the course of the student whose roll number is 1. So I'm saying update student set course equal to some AWS. So where roll number equal to what? 1. So select star from. Okay, select star from. What is the table here? Student. Now, is it courses updated from Python to what? AWS. But if you want to update, you are using a command called, if you want to update, you are using a command called which one? Update. So update, which replaces the values. So if you want to replace the values, you are using which command here? Update command. And if you want to delete anything from database table, then you are using which command? Delete command. If you want to delete anything from database table, you are using delete command. Now this command is used to delete rows from where? Database table. This command is used to delete rows from database table. Okay. So now, if you want to delete all the rows, don't give the condition. Suppose if I say delete from table name, so this will delete all the rows. The syntax delete all the rows. The syntax delete all the rows from where? Database table. But syntax 2 is there. Delete from table name where? It followed by which one? Condition. Now this syntax deletes only selected what? Rows. So whichever row satisfy this condition, that row will get what? Deleted. That row is get deleted by using which condition? Where condition. Okay. Suppose I want to delete. So delete from student where roll number equal to what here? 2. So it will delete the row whose roll number is what here? 2. Now when I say select star from student, so how many students are there? Only one student is. Is it student with the roll number 2 is deleted or not? Yes. So we can give the condition based on by choosing values from any column. Okay, any column. But whatever operations you are doing it, like all these operations are, as I said here, rollback. But whenever you do any inserting, updating, deleting, so the changes will be done automatically. The changes will be done automatically. So it is already committed. Already it is what here? Committed. Already committed. Okay, right? Yes. Now just try to understand, if you want to save changes permanently, then use which command here? Commit. Commit means saving changes permanently. But always, once you commit, then you cannot roll back. So once you commit it, what you can do, you cannot roll back it, because commit means save changes what? Permanently. Okay, but by default, this auto commit is what? On. Means whichever command you'll type here, that command will be inserted or saved permanently. Then there's no point of doing which one here? Roll back. Okay, now these are some of the commands related with SQL. Now these basic things you should know it to perform operations on which one? Database. First, what I said, how to create database. And next I said how to open the database. And once the database is open, I said how to create table. After creating table, how to insert data. And next I said how to retrieve the data. Next I said how to update the data. Next I said how to delete the data. And next I said how can you do save changes permanently. For that, commit. And if you want to do any undo, then use which one? Rollback. But all this you have done at the back end. But I want to do this from which program? Python program. I want my Python program should insert the data. I want my Python program should retrieve the data. The next is how Python program. How Python program or application. How Python program or application communicate with. How Python program or application communicate with which database? MySQL database. How Python program or application communicate with MySQL database. Okay. So in order to communicate with a database, for example, this is how it is. For example, assume that this is MySQL database. This is MySQL database. And this is which program? Python program. MySQL database, and this is Python program. So I want my Python program should communicate with what? MySQL database. Getting on. So what I required? Some mediator I required. I required some mediator, or I required one library. What I required? One library. So what is that library you are using to communicate with MySQL databases? So MySQL connector for which one here? Python. So this is a library, or this is what here? API. Okay, which I'm using it. I'm calling the functions of this libraries to communicate with which database? MySQL database. It is just like this. For example, this is your operating system and this is printer. I want my operating system should communicate with what? Printer. Then I required one software, right? What is that software I required? A driver. What is that software I required? A driver. So using this driver, what will happen? Communicate with which one? Printer. In the same way. So this is what here? Python program, and this is what here? MySQL database. Then how my Python program communicate with the MySQL database? I required one library. And what is that library? MySQL connector Python. So this library is provided by which people? MySQL people. I mean Oracle. Oracle provide this MySQL connector for Python. MySQL connector for Python. Oracle. So Oracle people provides MySQL connector for which one? Python library for communicating with what? MySQL what? Database. So what you can do is you can install from here, right? Go to the command prompt and just write pip install. What is it? MySQL connector. What? Python. MySQL connector Python. Pip install MySQL connector Python. So requirement satisfied. Now it is installed or not installed? Installed. So pip install MySQL connector Python from command prompt. So just install it. This is a library which you are using it to communicate with which database? MySQL database. To communicate with which database? MySQL database. Now install this. After installing this, you verify. After installing this, you verify is it installed or not. Just open ideally. So just open this, and here you just write import. What is that? MySQL is the name of the package. What is the name of the package? MySQL. So just import MySQL package so that you'll be knowing it whether it is installed or not. So just open this and verify is it MySQL library is installed or not. So I just write import MySQL. Now, if you If you type import MySQL, if you are giving any error, module not found error, then you have to check is it installed properly or not. Okay. Now, what are the basic steps? Now, once it is installed, then we have to write a program or not? Yes. So, what are the basic steps to communicate with? Basic steps to communicate with. Okay, basic steps to communicate with which database? MySQL database or database? Any database. First step is open. Open, what is that? Connection. You have to establish what here? Connection. Python is a front end. Client. Python is a client. Database is what? Server. You have to establish connection between client and server. Open connection. And second one is create. Which object here? Some cursor object. And send SQL statements using cursor object. Then read results and then close. What is that here? Connection. So how many steps are there? So the basic steps to work with the database is how many steps you need to know? 5 steps. 5 steps are there. How many steps are there here? 5 steps. Now these are the basic steps to communicate with what here? Database. Okay. Now first, what you do is just install the Python and do all these things so that tomorrow we'll see how Python program communicate with the database, right? So today I'll just stop it here and tomorrow we'll continue with communicate with the MySQL database.